What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's TV review of the Peacock original series, Twisted Metal. This will follow Season 2, Episode 4, which is called Let's Get Busy, and is directed by Benz. Okay, so I have one word for this episode, and that is kinky. This is quite the episode that is kind of harkening back to Eyes Wide Shut. It's also harkening in the kind of crazy, kinky world that is, of course, Twisted Metal, and is a heist episode. It is a Ocean's 11 version for Twisted Metal, and it was pretty good. I mean, there's nothing special about this episode. It's getting the two main characters, Okoye and, of course, John Doe, back together in a sexy fashion of them two having sex, and the kind of the goofy nature of how they find themselves attractive to each other. And it's also an episode where they need to steal a bunch of devices, a bunch of weapons to compete in the Twisted Metal tournament. And they had to go to Diesel City to do that because that is where all the rich rich people in the Twisted Metal universe, I'm not sure if they're billionaires, but they're the rich people, the people that control the world that is Twisted Metal in all its glory. So here's an episode where Dollface, Mayhem, and of course Quiet and John Doe go to Diesel City. We learn how Diesel City works. You give gasoline and they give you like tokens, basically, like look like little nuts and stuff like that for cars. And you use them to barter and trade in this world that is Diesel City. You know, you can buy weapons, but you can do pretty much a lot of different things. And this is where all the like crazy equipment's at that you probably have seen from the video game. But in essence, there is no violence allowed. It is all barter and trade. If you kind of steal, you can be killed. There are snipers, there are elite soldiers, and there is basically a ruling class in this world of Diesel City. And for the most part, it is a TV budgeted world. Like the visual effects are pretty shoddy, and like the sets are very kind of low budget in a lot of respects. But the thing about Twisted Metal and the thing that makes it work is not the set pieces. I mean, the set pieces like the driving and stuff like that, the violence. I mean, that does stand apart in the kind of the crude nature of what it is. But the character dimensional aspects and the humor and the funny natures and the gags and this is a series where you have a killer clown and then you have like they said, a guy in a big device that has two wheels on its side and a guy who can steal people's souls. This is a movie, or this is a show that's more goofy in nature than it is about what it is designed about. But once again, there is the Mission Impossible / Ocean's 11 style heist setup where they talk about how they're going to get into this place and how they're going to steal this technology and all these devices that they can use in the tournament. Of course, they get in there and they have to disguise themselves as two individuals who, it's pretty funny to watch Stephanie Beatriz try to act like an Irish person from Spokane, Washington, to be funny. I think that's actually quite hilarious that they live in this world where they don't really kind of understand the world itself. I mean, this is a post-apocalyptic America, so it makes a lot of sense that they wouldn't know Spokane, Washington is just another city in the United States that they don't talk like they're Irish, but because it's Spokane, it's like a misunderstanding. And you see that with like the people running, of course, this place, this Diesel City. And I thought, I appreciate that Stephanie Beatriz really goes for it. I appreciate that Anthony Mackie is given a lot of leeway to be very humorous. I think that they really work together because Anthony Mackie has always been a guy who never has shown his like comedic chops, and I think he's actually very funny. I think when you like look at like dramatic actors and you look at stuff like Anthony Mackie or Robert De Niro, they have a humorous side to them. It's a similar thing with like Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler. They have a very dramatic side to them, and it really works. And watching this two and how they truly are attracted to each other, how goofy it is, how it's like when you get hit in the chest with like a bullet of love. It's pretty funny stuff, and you can tell that there is love there and that there's an attraction there by the way they act to one another and stuff like that. But they have great supporting cast around them with the Dollface and Mayhem. I think Mayhem is like one of the clear front runners for like one of the best characters of the season because she's goofy, she's young, she's resourceful, she's very good at what she does, but she's also good at chaos and goofy nature and kind of the obvious when it comes to what the world is representing. And I just like how she is able to get them badges, and then she's able to take down, of course, Sweet Tooth with the cape. And I just love these two characters. Dollface, of course, is going to be the kind of anchor point to get him into the safe, which is, of course, with laser beams and a guard and stuff like that. And it really is all that kind of setup. It doesn't have like the trick moment at the end. It just has we're gonna have somebody do this. I love how Dollface and Sweet Tooth like kind of group together for a little bit until they start fighting over an EMP device that could actually really work in the Twisted Metal tournament. But that's a lot of stuff. We also have Sweet Tooth and Stu, who are down there searching for weapons for the tournament itself. And I love the chemistry between Sweet Tooth and Stu. I love the fact that Stu is like the the female in the relationship, because he's like really into like making sure they get weapons, but Sweet Tooth's like the very kind of outgoing. He wants to do this, he wants to kill people, he wants to just he's like all antsy and giddy and all that kind of stuff. It's like the really great thing of having Samoa Joe do the kind of nature of like his mannerisms, but having Will Arnett do his vocal work. And it's pretty funny because Will Arnett's really funny in what his portrayal of anything he does, and he's really like great in this series. But of course, Stu gets kidnapped. It's after Sweet Tooth finds a cape and he's murdering people with the cape. And I guess the cape was from Dracula. And it's really funny stuff because, Stu's trying to find weapons. And here is Sweet Tooth looking for the most outlandish cape that he wears through the entire episode. And I appreciate that. I think that's funny. It's also funny that Stu is kidnapped and taken by the high guard of this Diesel City, who are these very rich, hoity-toity like individuals, but they have a darker side that's very eyes wide shut, as most rich people have known to have happen. Stu is when we find out when they go into the party, we see all like they're bidding on the weapons that they're using. This is where we find out, a lot of these weapons are used for the cities to basically murder the people on the outside, who are the ones that are actually the most important. It all turns into a sex party. I don't know if the sex party was really needed, but it's funny because Stu is, when he's kidnapped, he's like the sacrificial lamb, but he's given all the sex he wants with all the ladies. It's something like what happens in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where I think I can't remember which of the knights is at that castle. It gets taken away at the last minute. This is like what would happen if he wasn't taken away. And it's good stuff. It's really funny to see Stu in his tidy whities through most of the episode, because he goes down to the he's looking for a way out, but he finds himself down in the vault where all the weapons are, and he sees of course he sees Quiet and John Doe having sex, but he also sees there's a fire, and he also sees all the weapons. It's like the craziest thing, because before, as we see, Quiet and John Doe basically are very attracted to one another. So they do it's almost like a copy of a scene out of Entrapment, where we saw Catherine Zeta-Jones' character have that really sensual sexual thing with the laser beams. And here they're doing it in a very goofy fashion, because John Doe does his, Catherine Zeta-Jones best moments. But Quiet throws like a knife or whatever at the laser beams and cuts it off. And it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny how she kills the guard in a very sexy fashion. And they end up having sex, and there's a really funny joke about John Doe only needing 2 minutes. They'll be fine. Everything around them's catching on fire. It's a very in-your-face joke about sex and stuff like that. And it all leads to a mayhem moment where everybody starts fighting with one another, because all the high guard are killed by Stu and his tidy whities, and everybody starts like destroying each other. There's no order anymore, which is pretty funny. And it pretty much ends after that. Everybody is pretty much order has gone away from Diesel City. Diesel City is now in ruins, and Stu and Sweet Tooth have all the weapons, and Dollface has the EMP generator. And it's really funny to watch Sweet Tooth really excited by what Stu has done. He's got his first murder and his first like Sweet 16 situation type of thing, where was it murder or whatever it's called, and it's really funny. And then we have Quiet and John are talking about their future in the cabin, and will they survive Twisted Metal, which is where the episode ends. But Dollface officially is going to enter the tournament. They're going to stop everyone and take down the initiative. And yeah, that's pretty much what the episode is. It's just a way to get into Diesel City, a way for mayhem to happen. And this is the episode the day before the tournament. So they need weapons, they need like armor, they need all kinds of stuff to compete in the tournament, because everybody and their mother are going to have like big weapons. I mean, heck, Axel has gigantic wheels with 2 turret guns. I mean, it just is what it is. But the episode's funny more than it is a good episode, to be fairly honest. It has a lot of great humor. It has a lot of great sexual innuendo, even though I think the sex scenes in there are kind of weird and not really that great, to be fairly honest. You see it in like every single TV series where they have to have an orgy of some sort. It just, it is what it is. I mean, it's funny. It's funny watching how Quiet and John Doe do, like, to get to the vault, they're doing like weird kind of funny sex acts. It's pretty funny, but I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed the episode. It's not the best of the series, but it is entertaining. It has great moments with Sweet Tooth and Stu again. And overall, I think, yeah, it's an okay episode. So that's the 4th episode of Twisted Metal Season 2 called Let's Get Busy. So with that said, for my final score, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I mean, it's fun, it's entertaining, but it just isn't a great story. I don't think much really happens that is really that interesting, but it has great moments that at least give it an 8 out of 10. But that's how I feel about Let's Get Busy, episode 4 of season 2 of Twisted Metal. So there you go. Anyways, thank you so much for watching my review, my spoiler discussion of episode 4 of season 2. In the comments below, what do you think of this episode? What do you think overall? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you looking forward to the next episode, which is going to be next, because there's 2 episodes in the same day? So let me know in the comments. But otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at top to find what's coming next. If you liked this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.